Endometriosis, it's a tough reality for so many, often involving chronic pelvic pain and, well, really challenging fertility journeys.
Hmm.
And when we talk fertility with endo, there's this key piece that sometimes gets a bit overlooked, how it actually affects the eggs themselves.
Oocyte
Qualitatively, exactly. Yeah, that's what we're diving into today. We want to explore how endometriosis can impact egg quality and, maybe more importantly, look at some complementary therapies that are showing, well, some interesting potential.
Okay.
So the goal is really to understand how endo might compromise egg quality and then take a critical look at the research on things like acupuncture, herbal medicine, and low-level light therapy as possible support.
And this is based on a specific paper looking into these.
That's right. We're drawing from a focus paper examining these specific connections, so it's not just general info.
Great. Okay, let's get right into it then. How does endometriosis actually, interfere with developing good quality eggs? What's the main mechanism? Well, one of the really significant factors is the chronic inflammation that comes with endo.
Right, inflammation.
Yeah. Think about the fluid that's actually surrounding the developing eggs. Normally, it should be, a nourishing environment.
Mm-hmm.
But with endometriosis, this fluid can get loaded with inflammatory signals, these molecules called cytokines, and also higher levels of damaging things called reactive oxygen species.
Okay, so it creates a kind of toxic bath for the eggs.
Sort of, yeah. A stressful environment, it can directly harm the eggs and even trigger premature death of the granulosa cells.
And those are the support cells.
Absolutely vital. They're like the pit crew for the developing egg, providing nutrients, hormonal signals, everything.
So if that support system is under attack from inflammation, it makes sense the eggs wouldn't, well, thrive. Is that inflammation the main issue or other things going on too?
It's definitely a crucial piece, creating that hostile local environment. But it's not the only factor. Endometriosis can also mess with the delicate hormonal balance needed for healthy egg development.
Folliculogenesis.
Exactly, folliculogenesis. It needs a really precise sequence of hormonal signals.
Right.
When endo interferes, it can lead to irregularities in how the eggs mature, maybe affecting their shape, reducing their ability to be fertilized properly.
Like changing the recipe halfway through baking a cake or something?
Kind of, yeah. The end result might not be quite right.
And what about egg count? Ovarian reserve is a big worry for many people with endo. Does it directly lower the number of eggs?
Well, the research suggests that women with endo might indeed have fewer mature follicles available.
Those are the little sacs holding the eggs.
That's right. And they might also have fewer of what we call oocyte coronacumulus complexes, or OCCCs.
Okay, what are those?
That's basically the egg surrounded by its crucial supporting granulosa cells. You need those cells not just for nourishment, but also to help guide sperm during fertilization.
Ah, I see.
So a lower number of these complexes usually means fewer viable eggs are available, whether for natural ovulation or, say, IVF retrieval.
So it's not just the environment. The actual pool of available eggs might be smaller too.
Wow. The paper also mentioned changes at a really tiny level, right? Molecular, cellular stuff.
Absolutely. That increased death rate of the granulosa cells we talked about
Mm-hmm.
and disruptions in their normal cell cycle, how they grow and divide, these can be red flags for compromised egg quality.
Because if the support crew isn't healthy.
Exactly. If they're not functioning optimally, the egg itself probably isn't developing optimally either. And these cellular changes can potentially hinder embryo development down the line. It's fascinating how these subtle things have big effects.
Okay, so we've laid out some pretty significant hurdles endo puts in the way of egg quality. Let's pivot to the potential solutions or supports mentioned in the paper. Acupuncture, herbal medicine, low-level light therapy. Let's start with acupuncture. How could sticking tiny needles in specific spots possibly help egg quality with endo? What's the thinking?
Well, the intriguing thing about acupuncture is its potential to sort of influence the body's own regulatory systems.
One key idea is that it might help modulate inflammation. By stimulating certain points, the thinking is it could help lower those pro-inflammatory prostaglandins and cytokines we mentioned earlier.
The troublemakers.
Right. Potentially creating a healthier, less inflamed environment in and around the ovaries, like nudging the system back towards balance.
So less about just shutting inflammation down, more about helping the body regulate it.
That seems to be the idea, yes. And another potential benefit that comes up is enhanced ovarian blood flow.
Better blood flow. How does that help?
Well, if you improve circulation to the ovaries, you potentially get better delivery of essential nutrients and oxygen right to those developing follicles.
Optimizing the supply lines.
Exactly. Better supplies mean the follicles are more likely to produce higher quality eggs.
Makes sense. Good nutrition is key. What about the hormones themselves? Does acupuncture actually change FSH or LH levels?
There is some evidence suggesting it might. It could have a positive influence on key hormones like FSH and LH.
Oh.
The paper actually cites a meta-analysis that's a study combining results from multiple studies, which found acupuncture was linked to an increase in antral follicle count.
That's the number of small, visible follicles, like potential eggs.
Right, an indicator of reserve. And it also showed improvements in FSH levels in women who had diminished ovarian reserve.
Yeah.
So that could be quite significant.
Yeah, that is interesting. So it might influence future egg development, too, not just the current environment. And you mentioned real-world data, IVF studies.
Yes, there was a 2019 study looking specifically at endo patients doing IVF. It showed a pretty notable difference.
What did it find?
The group that had acupuncture alongside their IVF had a higher clinical pregnancy rate, 58.8% versus 46.6% for the group that didn't get acupuncture.
Wow, that's quite a difference.
It is. Now, it doesn't directly measure egg quality. We need to be clear about that.
Right.
But a better pregnancy outcome certainly suggests a positive influence on the whole process, which could definitely involve better egg quality.
That's a fair point. It's promising, but maybe not definitive proof just on egg quality from that study alone. Okay, let's shift gears to herbal medicine. How might plant-based stuff help with egg quality and endometriosis? What's the approach?
Herbal medicine often takes a more holistic view. It uses complex plant formulations aiming to address underlying imbalances.
Okay.
For egg quality and endo, one potential benefit is improving blood circulation to the pelvic area, including the ovaries.
Blood flow again, like acupuncture.
Exactly. Endo can sometimes be linked with circulatory issues, and certain herbs might have properties that support healthier blood flow.
And what else? Inflammation, immune system.
Yes, that's another key area, potentially influencing inflammatory pathways, modulating the immune system. Given how inflammation and oxidative stress damage eggs,
Right.
certain herbs might have compounds that help reduce those harmful processes, potentially protecting the eggs.
Is there solid evidence for this with herbs and endo-related infertility?
Well, the paper mentions a 2011 review that looked at herbal medicine for infertility linked to endometriosis. It did find evidence of increased pregnancy rates.
Okay, so similar to the acupuncture finding improved overall outcome, suggesting underlying benefits.
Precisely. It suggests a positive effect, which could include better egg quality. But again, we'd love to see more studies measuring egg quality directly to really pinpoint how herbs are working at that biological level.
Definitely need that more focused research. Okay, third one. Low-level light therapy, or LLLT. Sounds a bit more, well, futuristic maybe. How does shining light potentially help eggs?
Yeah, it might sound less familiar. LLLT uses low-intensity light, not like a laser beam, but gentle light, to basically stimulate cell function.
Like giving cells an energy boost.
That's a great way to put it. A key mechanism seems to be enhancing the activity of mitochondria.
The cell's powerhouses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By boosting mitochondria, LLLT might increase the production of ATP, that's the cell's main energy currency, in the egg cells themselves, and those important granulosa cells too.
So more energy means they can do their jobs better?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Better equipped to function properly. And another angle, tying back to our earlier points.
Let me guess. Oxidative stress.
You got it. LLLT has also shown potential in reducing oxidative stress. Mitigating that damage could help maintain the egg's integrity and quality, like a protective shield.
And does LLLT help with blood flow too? Seems to be a common theme.
There is some evidence suggesting it can enhance blood flow in the tiny vessels of the ovaries, the microcirculation.
Right.
And as we've said, better circulation supports follicle development. Now, it's really important to note here, as the paper does.
Let me guess, more research needed specifically for endo and egg quality.
Exactly. The specific research on LLLT for endometriosis-related egg quality is still quite limited, still early stages. But the benefits seen in other fertility areas and cellular function make it a promising area to watch.
Okay, that's a crucial distinction. Encouraging, but needs more specific evidence for this context. Which brings us neatly to the important considerations and where the research needs to go. What are the main takeaways there?
Well, the paper is quite clear. While findings for all three therapies are encouraging, the evidence specifically showing improved oocyte quality in women with endometriosis is still, well, limited.
Right.
A lot of the existing studies focused on other things, pain relief, maybe overall pregnancy rates.
Important outcomes, but not the direct egg quality measure.
Correct. They didn't always use specific biological markers to see what's happening with the eggs themselves. So we need more studies doing exactly that.
Makes sense. More direct proof. What kind of studies would be best?
Ideally, we need more robust research, particularly larger randomized controlled trials, RCTs. They're the gold standard for minimizing bias.
Okay.
And also studies that really dig into the mechanisms. Why might these therapies be working? Understanding the how and why is just as vital as seeing an effect. And finally, a really important point the paper stresses, these should be seen as complementary therapies.
Not replacements for conventional medicine.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
They should ideally be integrated with standard medical treatments for endometriosis.
Yeah.
It's about a combined approach for a complex condition.
Right. So summing up, endo can definitely throw some punches at egg quality inflammation, hormone issues, maybe fewer eggs overall. But these complementary options, acupuncture, herbs, LLLT, they show potential for pushing back by tackling inflammation, hormones, cell energy. But the specific proof for egg quality in endo is still developing.
That's a really good summary.
Yeah.
It's an exciting field, and this idea of integrated approaches, it offers real promise for improving fertility outcomes for people with endometriosis. It's definitely hopeful.
Absolutely. A space to keep an eye on. And for those of you listening who might want to learn more or perhaps explore these options, the research we discussed comes from the Berkeley Center in New York City. They do offer consultations, and you can find more info on their website. That's www.berkeleycenter.com. Or you can call them at 212-685-0985. Just a resource if you're seeking professional guidance.
Yeah, and hopefully as the research keeps going, we'll get an even clearer picture of how best to use these complementary approaches, leading to, even better strategies for helping people with endometriosis achieve their fertility goals. It's definitely a positive outlook for the future.